Hey all, this is Nick with Fordzilla. Just giving you an update after the Northwest Alabama Ride Park race with the Outlaw series. Ended up with an 8th place finish. I was going to say I made some mistakes, but I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know what I did. I did my best, and it wasn't good enough. I could not make it through the course in this one area. I kept getting hung up. I could just not get a smooth run. I had everything in the world going for me to win this race, but I just couldn't get through the woods course. I kept bumping and stopping and having to reverse. So it is what it is. Had a great time. Ended up with the 8th place overall. How it worked out is I lined up for the line. Buggy's running great. Everything was great. And I take off. I go like a bat out of heck all the way up the hill, turn right, go into the woods section. I kind of pounced right up onto the top of the rock, landed right where I wanted to be, pointed right where I wanted to go, went right where I wanted to go, and just stopped. And I believe my rear tires wedged in. I believe they wedged into a rock, like in between two rocks. It kind of went to a V. With doing that, I beat on it a little bit, backed up, tried it again, backed up, tried it again, and then somehow was able to get through there. Got through there, and at that moment in my head, I was already extremely frustrated, and I kind of do two things. I haven't worked through this yet anymore, but I go two ways with it. Either I drive like a lunatic and usually crash or roll or take myself out, or I go the opposite way and I just sit there and I'm just telling myself, calm down, just complete the course and get a time. And that's what happened when I got stuck in that V. I was just trying to calm myself. Anyway, I got through there. It was pretty slow, pretty disappointing to watch. Even when I come out of the trees that I turn it back on the race mode. It's something I'm working on right now, and I will get better. That was that. After that run, I watched everybody else. I did have a little bit of sense of I'm not the worst driver in the world when I seen that almost everybody struggled with that woods pass. I think Daniel one-shotted through the woods pass there, but I don't think anybody else did. So kudos to you, Daniel. That was amazing. But I think everybody else had trouble going through there, had a bump or some sort of stop. Now, I'm not sure, but anyway, so that was that run. Second run, I knew I was way down, and when I started putting thought into it after I got out of the race, got some water in me, got cooled down, I realized that I ain't even going to be in this race at all unless I pull off some sort of a miracle. I did know I could go fast on this course. I was really confident, but I did drive. I took a lot of risks, and by a lot of risks is I went extremely fast right to the hill, and I actually hit the brakes and skidded to the hill, and I was actually going a little faster than I wanted to go, and I had to let off the brakes and gas it before I ran into the hill, so I didn't, rip the drivetrain out of the thing. So I hit the hill. It ended up being the perfect amount of speed, landed, cut over. I kept the rear cranked as I was drifting around the corner, and I went right off the ledge with the rear tires turned. It ended up working perfect. I landed perfect. It was smooth as a cloud, and then tried to drift up. And at the time, all the other competitors were kind of bumping the wall and rolling and driving over, and I just hit that thing. I hit it hard. And this thing just is an animal. It just took it like nothing. Shot me up in the air, landed on the throttle, went right through the finish line. Ended up setting the fastest time of the day, which was pretty cool. It felt fast. It felt really fast. I did watch the video. I know I could have pulled out another second, maybe 2 seconds in a couple areas that I seen that I don't know that I really messed up. I just was I was trying too hard to line up when I shouldn't have been worrying about hitting my lines in those areas because it didn't matter. But anyway, It still was an amazing run, and it was like 24 seconds, 24 and a half seconds or something, which was awesome. That's the first time in the Outlaw, and it'll be the second week in a row that I've set the fastest time on a course. So that's pretty cool. Once at Hawk Pride a couple weeks ago with the NRA series, I set the fastest time on a course, and then this week here at Outlaw, I set the fastest week on the course, or fastest time on the course. So pretty big achievement for me. I'm really happy with that. That's a big goal, and that for sure means one thing, is that I'm getting faster and I'm able to control the buggy. What else was awesome is all the Outlaw races we tag team with Jeremiah and Jim and Brody and Danica, and so we all ride down there, and Jeremiah's hauler, which is fun, but really saves us money on fuel because we split it, And what's awesome about this is our whole Wisconsin crew made a huge statement down there, in my eyes anyway. And this is kind of weird because I'm like the biggest fan of rock bouncing there probably ever was. When Danica went, she took that PFU buggy, Salty Heifer, went up the hill, and I mean, she was flying, and there's a big rock wall, and I mean, Jeremiah told her to hit it, and Timmy told her to hit it. She hit it. She hit that thing. I don't know. She hit that thing, didn't let off, aired it out, twisted, come back down, and when she hit, it sheared off the pump and for the steering, so she lost all her steering, and that was the end. Just bad luck there, but what do you do? There's nothing you can do about that. That was amazing. It was awesome to watch. I mean, awesome. I mean, she hit that. She was going for it. So that was pretty cool. Then Jeremiah run, and he's always insane to watch. He was flying. Just makes the stuff that is hard for everybody else, he makes it look easy. He got a little bit sideways, and when Jeremiah gets sideways, he don't let off, and he just put the hammer down, and I mean, that buggy was screaming. I don't know what thing revs to, 9,000 RPM or what. He said there's a 7,000 RPM limit, but it sounded like it had 9,000 RPM. And went out the top, but it was wild. If you watch the video, it was pretty crazy. Then because Danica's Salty Heifer buggy was broke, Brody was running Jeremiah's buggy, which is Window Licker, and that's quite a bit more powerful buggy, more agile, I would say. It's just quite a bit, higher end buggy. And Brody was running that. Now this would be, I think, the second time that Brody's run it. Well, Brody does amazing at the course, ends up putting the buggy on its side while moving, puts it on its side, steers into the roll wide open, brings the thing back, puts it down on its wheels. Did all that. That was amazing. The crowd was jumping. We were all jumping up and down and stuff. And it's just so awesome for our whole trailer load of guys from Wisconsin there to put on such a show and just be so on the edge driving, that style and just making it. I mean, it's real rock bouncing when you're hitting stuff so hard that your machine's landing on its side and you have to drive out of it. That's real rock bouncing. So that was amazing. Then the next thing that we did that was really cool is, like I said, I had my first run there, and then I had my second run. My second run was amazing and fast. The first run was slow as can be. Well, Jeremiah's first run was awesome, and then his second run was awesome as well. Now, he was very consistent, and that automatically put him in the top 10. I had my fingers crossed the whole time. It was so dusty there, we couldn't see any of the timers. We couldn't hear anything. I mean, it was just super dusty. So we all the racers had their fingers crossed on if we were going to make the top 10. They call the top 10 out. My name was the first name. Now that means nothing. That's other than all that means is your lineup for the third hill. So they call my name. I was ecstatic, really ecstatic, because I didn't even know if I would make the top 10. And then Jeremiah made the top 10. That was pretty awesome. So we went up there, and then we raced again. Well, the third hill, they put us right back through that same woods course that had slowed down everyone. And that time I went in there, and I got another really good look at it, and I thought everything was fine. And I hit the other spot exactly how I wanted. I don't know. I watched my GoPro. To me, it looks like I hit everything right. But when I watch the GoPro, I see my back tires run into a wall and kind of were holding me back. So obviously it didn't work. Took a bunch of time. Took me out of the running. Ended up with an 8th place out of it, which is better than a sharp stick in the eye. I still get paid. So that was cool. That was really cool. Jeremiah went through it like a boss, and ended up I believe he ended up 5th place. Fifth place. So that was pretty awesome. He's right there. He's doing well with the points. Very, very, very cool. Very cool for him. It's going to be a pretty amazing series finals there at Blue Holler. What else? The buggy. Fordzilla here, we had a lot to go through. So I wanted to check the motor over really good. I wanted to check everything over. It was too good. I always feel like it's too good to be true when I have no issues and no problems, and I didn't have no issues and no problems. My shifter's been giving me a little trouble here. Oh, where is it? Right here. It's been giving me a little trouble. It's actually grinding in there, and it's the friction is making it stiffer and stiffer to move, and I don't like that. I like things to be perfect. I like it to be smooth, like it's ball bearing. I do. I like things perfect. So we've been messing around and messing with that, trying to figure out better ways. Also, my valve train. I get again. I'm particular, so I hear and feel any little differences. That's just the way it is for me. And I was hearing noises. I was hearing these little like metal on metal noises here and there randomly all the time, and it was just driving me nuts because I don't have much confidence in my motor just because of how many problems we have, And I kept hearing these little tings and like metal on metal, and I mean there's nothing I can do but be nervous. So I called Andy, my motor guy, and he told me, take a stethoscope and run it across your valve train, across your covers while it's running, and do that on a regular basis, and you'll get to understand how it's supposed to sound. And then, obviously pull them off when you get home, look at everything underneath, take your spring pressures, and just make sure everything's good and looks good. And that'll tell you right there what's going on. So anyway, we never even got that far. Had to do that because what happened is got home here and noticed a couple things. We were missing a couple bolts had vibrated out, or we didn't tighten them, or whatever. But one was this exhaust here. The way this exhaust comes out, it had actually broke its little mount that holds it, and the pipes were resting right on this metal here. So it was making metal on metal noises. Just every time I'd hit a bump, those pipes would bounce, and it'd make a metal on metal, and those pipes, it'll magnify it. So that was one thing that we found, and a big thing. The other is down here. There's an exhaust shield down. You can't really see it down here, but there's an exhaust shield, and there's one bolt in there on the bottom, and that bolt had come out, and the exhaust the exhaust shield was actually bouncing, and it's metal, and it was bouncing up and down and actually hitting it. So both those two things were all the noise, those weird little noises I hear randomly once in a while that were driving me nuts. Another thing that we did, and I shouldn't say we, Dennis has done almost all this. He truly helps so much with this stuff because I stick to generating money or I work. I'm good at concrete. I'm good at what I do. I stick to that as much as possible. And then he's my shop guy. He works on all the trucks and he maintains this thing. And I point him in the right direction. Tell him what I want or how I want, and he goes at it. Oh man, we learn a lot on a regular basis. Both of us, a lot. But he does the majority of this. So he knows how much I struggle with tuning this and hooking it up and everything. So he ended up running. This is pretty neat. This is the cord that hooks to the computer of this thing, so we can tune. And he ended up running this, redoing the wiring and running it a different way and hold it and running out here. So what we can have is next we're going to build a laptop holder that holds right here. Just with some straps, just like you've seen on cop cars or you can buy them for anything, for side by sides or whatever to hold it, so the laptop doesn't bounce around. But that way, when we do motor work or tuning, we can just set it right here, and I don't have to hold it with one arm, and plug it in. It just sits here. So that's cool. Damage, as far as damage, I really didn't have anything except some axle seals. And the reason why I had those axle seals is took that big hit running in like that. My axles are gun drilled and they flex. What it reminds me of is like a candy cane. So when they turn, they don't stay perfectly straight. They move, and that's what tears the axle seals out. So at least that's my theory. I don't know if I can't tell you exactly. That's just common sense to me. That's what happens. So I tore some axle seals out. We got a ton of those up there on the wall for this thing. Something we have on hand all the time. And we switched those out. Dennis did an inspection. Something that scared the living daylights out of us is we're always worried about diffs, right? Diffs are a big deal. They're not easy to get. They cost a lot of money. And it's not an easy, simple thing. So we're always worried about them. So we have this inspection cover here. That inspection cover comes off every time we're done with a race. When we pull it in here, that inspection cover comes off, and we have a bendable magnet. Now this is Dennis's idea, but we always inspect. We put the machine up on the lift, and we rotate the tires, and we inspect the ring gear, but you can't see back to see the pinion gear. So what we do is we actually take a magnet, a bendable magnet, and we put it in the bottom of there, and we move it all over in the bottom of that, and it picks out chunks, any chunks. Well, if chunks come out, it's bad. I mean, it's bad, 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 because that means our gears are coming apart or our bearings are coming apart. Anyway, the big hits I took, I was worried about that. So what we did is we did that, and I was pouring concrete, 30 minutes away from here. I was worried about that all day. We had a rough day. We had not so much things go wrong at my job, but we had unexpected delays. We were going to dig a foundation or a pad for some concrete. Started digging, and there was a massive stump underneath the gravel. Then got that stump out, moved over, then we found big chunks of concrete. Anyway, so I was having a rough day that day. Well, I was waiting for Dennis to call all day about these diffs, and he calls and he goes, "You're never going to believe the chunk that I found in your diff." And I'm like, "Oh, no." Well, he starts telling me about it, and you can see the chunk here, how big it is. He starts telling me about it, and he's like, "Yeah, but you ain't got nothing to worry about." So he got me all built up. And he's like, "You ain't got nothing to worry about, Nick." And he's like, this is from the old diffs. And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Well, how do you know that?" Well, apparently is what he did is when he was pulling those axle seals, he had, it's only a couple more bolts to pull the diff. He pulled the diff and just did an inspection anyway. And turns out that chunk that we found, that was from the old diffs that were in here, the ones that we took out and sold and got these new ones. And that was just sitting up there in the cup, and he found, or in the axle itself, he found it. It wasn't down in there. So thank God it didn't work its way down into the new diffs. And thank God that there was nothing wrong with them. So that was good. For some reason that my back driver's side keeps coming loose on the knuckles. It also is, I shouldn't say for some reason, it's taking some massive hits. You know, these are bead locked, and they're bent all the way through, all the way to the wheel. So this wheel keeps taking some big hits, and two races now in a row, this knuckle's been loose and we've had to retighten. It's not a big surprise. I shouldn't have said it like it's something weird. It's just that what's taking all the abuse. So right now the buggy is sitting low because what we did is our struts they've been through heck, and what we're gonna do is Kirk Jensen from Jensen Brothers. That would also be the godfather of ORI. That would be their son. ORI is one of our biggest sponsors here at Behind Bars Racing, and they've always took care of us all the way back from when we started, and now more so than ever. Well, anyway, ORI and Jensen Brothers Off-Road, I feel like they're similar. It's father owns ORI and the sons own Jensen Brothers Off-Road. Well, anyway, Jensen Brother Off-Road is the one I buy my struts through. They're the ones who rebuild them, and they're also the ones that sponsor me and help me with them. So something cool is these here. I noticed some issues that I was running into where I think a little fluid has slipped through in between the seals. Well, in my world, I can't have that. I can't have anything like that. So I called Kirk up and I asked him. I said, Kirk, can I just buy the tools to rebuild them, the sleeves, the little clamps and stuff? He says, yeah, no problem. But how about I just come out there? I'll come out there and I'll bring the tools. I'll rebuild them and I'll walk you through and teach you how. I was like, heck yeah, man. So that's pretty amazing of them, and I'm just very proud to be working with them. I mean, he just is gonna fly right out here and I mean show me all the guts of these things, how to rebuild them, everything about them. I don't know how it could get much better than that. So what we did is we took those ones off, so they're ready to go, and then we grabbed these ones here. These ones are off Woolly Bully, so we borrowed these ones off. These are completely brand new, rebuilt. We're gonna charge them up to our spec, what our pressures that we run that we found work the best. And it's like 10:20 p.m. right now, Wednesday night. We're gonna do that. I'll do that probably early in the morning tomorrow. I don't know, 6 a.m. or so. I'll get these charged up, and then and then when Dennis gets here, I'll run it around, and then we should be able to load up. The semi and trailer is all hooked up, ready to go. All we have to do basically is load up the buggy and a little pit bike, and my family, my wife and kids, the dog, and even my mom are all coming with me. We're going to West Virginia? Not West Virginia. I don't know. Completely slipped my mind. But we're going there for the NRA. Good Evening Ranch. I think it is in West Virginia. Good Evening Ranch, South Carolina. I don't know. I don't know. And this is recorded, and I'm not redoing it. So you got all that. But anyway, we're going there to race. That's going to be pretty exciting. It's massive rock. Every time I have been to Good Evening Ranch, now I've been there. Oh, I've only been there once. But I've watched all the videos of Good Evening Ranch, and they're all radical. And when I say radical, I mean like rocks the size of cars and just crazy courses. So I actually hope the courses are not that crazy. I would prefer it not to be that crazy, just because it's very, very hard on me to if something breaks or I have to go without sleeping to keep this thing up. I don't like doing that. So I hope it's not outrageously extreme courses, but I know it'll always be a good time. It's going to be a good time, and it's going to be really awesome having my family come with. So we're gonna go down there. The goal is to leave tomorrow at 11 a.m. That's always the goal. It usually never happens till 4, 5, 6 p.m. But that's the goal. It actually hasn't rained here in a couple days. So we've been getting a lot of concrete work done, which is great. I don't want to say catching up, but we're doing good. So that's good. Almost my entire staff is off for Country Fest, the big festival that goes on here, starting tomorrow. So they're going to be having the time of their life at the Country Festival. Goat rope and music they'll be listening to, I guess. And yeah. So we're gonna go and try and win us our first NRRA race down at Good Evening Ranch. It's a cool place. I'm excited for my family and everybody to see it. And I don't know. I think that's all I got. Picking up Wooly Bully's motor has been done for a little while. I have not gotten over there to pick it up. What we did is we redid the very first motor that was in this, the one that I came down a tree and ran into a tree and bent the crank. What we did is we put a new crank in that motor, reconditioned the inside, rebuilt it, and we're going to put that in Wooly Bully. It'll be basically just as wicked as it was in the past, just with a brand new motor. So excited about that, because I think we're up to like 4 people that are seriously interested in that machine. I just want to get the motor in there, get these struts rebuilt, get these ones back on there, or vice versa, whatever, it doesn't matter, but get them all rebuilt, get that thing in tip top, hopefully get that sold, and then I'll have a little bit of money to, I don't know, probably pay some bills, just pay some bills. So I don't really need anything with this right now. We're doing all right. Tires are rough, but they're doing their job. They're holding up. They all hold air. I got 3 spares. I mean, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. So other big news with the motor. The motor is supposed to be big John Casey motor. Hoping to have that in like 3 weeks now. So time's ticking down. You know, I can only go by what they tell me. They have some issues getting pistons. I believe they got everything else, so that'll be cool. I'm excited. I really am excited with that. I also got I see it as a really large opportunity, and I was really excited. I had a massive company that everybody knows the names of. I mean, all of them. But I have a friend that I work with on a regular basis that gave me the connections and made the connection for me, and I'm extremely excited to see where that goes. Now, it may mean nothing at all, but how I do it, with the way I think about things and do things, is I take any type of excitement that I can get. So if it makes me feel good and makes me dream big, I'll take it to the most. I'll get excited. You know how some people are like, oh, don't get excited about that. That don't mean nothing. I do the opposite. I try and get excited about anything that I possibly can, because I've just learned it's worth it to be in a good mood, happy and excited about anything, versus always looking at the downside or the negative. I'd rather be happy and excited my whole life and have nothing work out than just think about all the downers that happen. So anyway, that's I'm looking forward to that. I just sent the email here, I don't know, about a half an hour before I started this video, and I'm excited to see where that leads. So they're going to be doing some background work on me, looking into my social medias and all that stuff, and kind of just digging into me. So got my fingers crossed on that. But anyway, what else? That's about it. There's no real big things. I'm really happy with this thing. I really am. I feel like at this point now, we got it good and dialed in, and now it's just driving it and driving it faster. We made a little update We did tighten the sway bar a little bit so it handles better, you know, handles a little tighter. I don't know. I don't. You know, it's all details, tiny details. I got to get it out and drive it. Make sure I like that. If it's too tight, we might adjust it back. I have done that in the past, and with the way I had my suspension, it was too stiff with that. So we'll see. We'll see. And I don't know if that's the best for a Good Evening Ranch race course either with those big rocks. So we'll see about the speed. I like to go a higher rate of speed than a lot of others do. The higher rate of speed and how this buggy works is the more violent impacts and the harder you push it, the better the buggy works. And that's tough. That's tough to do that. You got to have the right mindset or be in a bad mood. And yeah, and you know how that goes. So that's all I can think of right now. And this is already getting to be a pretty long video. So we'll see you guys, and wish me luck. And we'll hopefully be giving you an update with a big first place trophy. All right, later.